Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Nation celebrates 73rd Independence Day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unfurls the tricolour at the ramparts of the Red Fort. Prime Minister says key decisions were taken to fulfil the aspirations of the people within 10 weeks of returning to power. Prime Minister announces Jal Jeevan Mission to ensure safe drinking water to all households, asks farmers to reduce use of fertilizers and move towards organic farming. Prime Minister announces creation of a new post of Chief of Defence Staff, government to invest 100 lakh crore rupees in infrastructure building. Prime Minister calls upon people to make country free from single-use plastic from 2nd October. Independence Day celebrations held all over the country and abroad. And Raksha Bandhan been celebrated across the country with traditional fervour. The nation celebrates 73rd Independence Day today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hoisted the national flag at the ramparts of the historic Red Fort in Delhi. Dressed in a white kurta pajama and a colourful turban, Mr. Modi was received by the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh at the Red Fort. Prime Minister then inspected the Guard of Honour. Before coming to Red Fort, he paid homage to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat. Addressing the nation from the Red Fort, Prime Minister said that within 10 weeks of returning to power, his government took key decisions to fulfil the aspirations of the people. Mr. Modi said abrogation of the special status to Jammu and Kashmir, law to ban the practice of instant triple talaq, were some of the key decisions taken by his government soon after assuming power for the second term.
10 हफ्ते के भीतर ही अनुच्छेद 370 का हटना, 35A का हटना सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल के सपनों को साकार करने की दिशा में एक अहम कदम। 10 हफ्ते के भीतर हमारी मुस्लिम माताओं बहनों को उनका अधिकार दिलाने के लिए 3 तलाक के खिलाफ कानून बनाना, आतंक से जुड़े कानूनों में आमूल-चूल परिवर्तन करके उसको एक नई ताकत देने का, आतंकवाद के खिलाफ लड़ने के संकल्प को और मजबूत करने का काम।
In his speech, the Prime Minister asserted that his government neither nurses problems nor keeps them pending and referred to the scrapping of special status to Jammu and Kashmir, saying India now is one nation with one constitution. He said within 10 weeks of assuming power, the NDA government has taken key decisions like bringing a new law to ban the practice of instant triple talaq and scrapping provisions of Article 370 related to Jammu and Kashmir. He said the previous governments made efforts in the past 70 years to deal with Kashmir, but it did not bear results. Prime Minister also condoled the death of people in recent floods and assured the affected of all help. The Prime Minister said this government thinks differently and the country comes first. He said the spirit of one nation, one constitution has become a reality and India is proud of that. Mr. Modi said his government has made continuous efforts in the last 5 years to meet all the needs and aspirations of the common man. Prime Minister said India understands the importance of water conservation and thus a new ministry for Jal Shakti has been created. He announced Jal Jeevan Mission to make drinking water available to all households and said the government will spend 3.5 lakh crore rupees for it.
जल संकट की चर्चा बहुत होती है, भविष्य जल संकट से गुजरेगा ये भी चर्चा होती है। उन चीजों को पहले से ही सोच करके केंद्र और राज्य मिलकर के योजनाएं बनाए, इसके लिए एक अलग जल शक्ति मंत्रालय का भी निर्माण किया गया है।
Mr. Modi said his government has taken many important steps for farmers.
हमारे किसान भाइयों बहनों को प्रधानमंत्री सम्मान निधि के तहत 90,000 करोड़ रुपया किसानों के खाते में ट्रांसफर करने का एक महत्वपूर्ण काम आगे बढ़ा है। हमारे किसान भाई बहन, हमारे छोटे व्यापारी भाई बहन, उनको कभी कल्पना नहीं थी कि उनके जीवन में भी पेंशन की व्यवस्था हो सकती है। 60 साल की आयु के बाद वे भी सम्मान के साथ जी सकते हैं।
Prime Minister said the movement towards water conservation has to take place at the grassroots level and it should not be limited to merely a government program. He said people from all walks of life have to be integrated in this movement. The Prime Minister stressed on the need for eradication of poverty for the better future of the country, and the government has taken several steps in the last 5 years towards it. The Prime Minister also highlighted the issue of population explosion and stressed on the need to have greater discussion and awareness on population explosion. Mr. Modi said the recent Lok Sabha elections were neither fought by any political leader nor political party, but they were contested by the people of the nation to achieve their dreams. He said the mood of the nation changed in 2019 and disappointment turned into hope. Mr. Modi said every effort made to remove corruption and black money is welcome, as these are menaces that have ruined India for 70 long years. He said we should always reward honesty. Mr. Modi said India does not want incremental progress, but a huge jump is needed, and we have to keep in mind global best practices and build good systems. The Prime Minister said the government has decided to invest 100 lakh crore rupees in infrastructure building.
भारत को ग्लोबल बेंचमार्क की बराबरी में लाने के लिए हमारे आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर उसकी ओर भी जाना पड़ेगा, और इसलिए हमने तय किया कि इन कालखंड में 100 लाख करोड़ रुपया आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए लगाए जाएंगे, जिसे रोजगार भी मिलेगा, जीवन में भी एक नई व्यवस्थाएं विकसित होगी जो आवश्यकताओं की पूर्ति करेगी.
Mr. Modi said India can become a $5 trillion economy in the next 5 years. Prime Minister called for improving exports to get more share in the world economy. He said wealth creation is important for the country, as only then wealth distribution will happen. Mr. Modi said those who create wealth need to be respected. Prime Minister said today there is a stable government in India and his policy regime is predictable. He said the world is eager to explore trade with India. Mr. Modi said the government has kept the inflation under check and supplemented development. He added that the fundamentals of Indian economy are strong, which will help the country to grow further. Prime Minister announced creation of Chief of Defence Staff to ensure coordination and provide effective leadership to 3 services.
आज मैं लाल किले से एक महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय की घोषणा करना चाहता हूं. इस विषय के जो जानकार हैं वो बहुत लंबे अरसे से इसकी मांग करते रहे. आज हमने निर्णय किया है कि अब हम चीफ ऑफ डिफेंस स्टाफ CDS इसकी व्यवस्था करेंगे, और इस पद के गठन के बाद तीनों सेनाओं के शीर्ष स्तर पर एक प्रभावी नेतृत्व मिलेगा. हिंदुस्तान के सामरिक दुनिया की गति में ये CDS एक बहुत अहम और रिफॉर्म करने का जो हमारा सपना है उसके लिए बल देने वाला काम है.
Mr. Modi also asked farmers to try and reduce the use of fertilizers and move towards organic farming. He said there should be a deliberate attempt to produce things locally for a beautiful tomorrow. He said the priority should be a made-in-India product. The Prime Minister also called for making India plastic-free, saying the time for implementing such an idea has come. He urged people to eliminate single-use plastic. He urged authorities across the country to make arrangements for collecting plastic in the first strong step in the direction on 2nd of October this year. President Ramnath Kovind today paid tribute at the National War Memorial in New Delhi on the occasion of Independence Day. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and 3 service chiefs were also present on this occasion. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla today hoisted the national flag near the Mahatma Gandhi statue at the Parliament House on the occasion of Independence Day. Congratulating the people, Mr. Birla said there is an atmosphere of joy and happiness across the country on this festive occasion. Reports of Independence Day celebrations are coming from all over the country and abroad. In Jammu and Kashmir, Governor Satyapal Malik hoisted the tricolour at the Sher-e-Kashmir Stadium, Srinagar. A report.
Jammu and Kashmir Governor Satyapal Malik hoisted the national tricolour at the Sher-e-Kashmir Stadium, Srinagar in the first Independence Day celebration in Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of its special status. After unfurling the flag, Malik said the changes brought about by the Union government are not just historic but have opened a new vista of development for the people of Jammu and Kashmir and the people of Ladakh.
इन परिवर्तनों के साथ सुशासन को बढ़ावा मिलेगा, आत्मनिर्भरता आएगी, नौकरी के अवसर बढ़ेंगे, जम्मू और कश्मीर के निवासियों के बीच देश के शेष हिस्सों के साथ समानता और एकता की भावना आएगी.
Governor Malik said the process for establishment of the second tier of the panchayats has been initiated, for which the elections to the Block Development Council shall be held very soon. R.K. Raina from J&K.
The first Independence Day after the announcement of the Union Territory status for Ladakh has been celebrated with festive fervour. Chief Executive Councillor Ladakh Hill Council Gyal B. Wangyal hoisted the tricolour and inspected the parade at the polo grounds in Leh. In his address, Gyal Punchuk Wangyal thanked the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah for granting UT status for Ladakh region. Manipur celebrated today the 73rd Independence Day with the rest of the country. State Chief Minister Nong Thombam Biren Singh hoisted the tricolour at the first Manipur Rifles parade ground at Moirangkhom in the state capital Imphal, where the state-level celebration of the country's 73rd Independence Day was held today. In Assam, Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal unfurled the tricolour at Guwahati. A report.
Addressing the gathering, Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal said that the government is committed to protect the rights of the indigenous people. The Chief Minister said that the government is committed for an error-free NRC and also to protect the genuine citizens residing in Assam. All the ministers of the state attended the Independence Day celebration in various district headquarters. Manas Patim Sharma, AR News, Guwahati.
In Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh, the Independence Day was celebrated with great fervour and patriotic spirit. Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh unfurled the national flag at Jalandhar, while Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal unfurled the national flag at Sonipat. Punjab Governor and Administrator of Chandigarh unfurled the tricolour at Chandigarh. In Lucknow too, Independence Day celebrations were held with gaiety and patriotic fervour. A report.
Governor Anandiben Patel hoisted tricolour at Raj Bhavan and greeted the people. Vidhan Bhavan was richly decorated with tricolour and flowers. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath unfurled tricolour in the premises of Vidhan Bhavan. Chief Minister paid homage to the martyrs of the freedom movement. In his speech, Mr. Yogi said that Union government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken historical step by removing C-70 in Kashmir. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
The 73rd Independence Day has been celebrated with patriotic fervour in Nepal. The main function was held at Embassy of India in Kathmandu, where Ambassador Manjeev Singh Puri unfurled the tricolour. More from our correspondent.
The Embassy of India at Kathmandu was fully gripped by patriotic fervour. On this occasion, books, buses and ambulances were gifted to various educational institutions, hospitals and non-profit charitable organizations of Nepal. The students of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Modern Indian School and Nepal Army Band added colours of patriotism in the Independence Day celebrations with their mesmerizing performances. Hundreds of people from Indian community enthusiastically participated in the celebrations. For AIR News, this is Rajkumar from Kathmandu.
Indian community in Sri Lanka celebrated the nation's 73rd Independence Day with enthusiasm and nationalistic fervour. The main ceremony was held at the India House in Colombo this morning, where Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka Taranjit Singh Sandhu unfurled the Indian tricolour. The ceremony was attended by hundreds of Indian citizens leaving in the city. A BSF contingent staged an impressive march past. Later, the High Commissioner and officials of the Indian High Commission paid floral tributes to the martyrs at the Indian Peacekeeping Force Memorial at Battaramulla in Colombo. Consul General of India in Dubai, Vipul, led the Indian expats today in celebrating the 73rd Independence Day in Dubai by unfurling the national flag at the consulate. Hundreds of Indian expats from different walks of life gathered in the backlawns of the Indian consulate to mark the occasion. Russian President Vladimir Putin has written to President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulating them on the occasion of Independence Day. In his letter, Mr. Putin said, India rightfully takes pride in great achievements in economic, scientific, technological, cultural and other spheres. He said the Russian-India relations are dynamically developing in the spirit of special and privileged strategic partnership. The President said he is convinced that through joint efforts, the two countries will further strengthen fruitful bilateral cooperation across all areas as well as constructive interaction in addressing topical issues of regional and international agenda. Raksha Bandhan, the festival of special bond between brothers and sisters, has been celebrated today across the country with great enthusiasm. On this occasion, sisters tie colourful rakhi around the wrist of the brothers and pray for the prosperity, health and well-being. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Nation celebrates 73rd Independence Day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unfurls the tricolour at the ramparts of the Red Fort. Prime Minister says key decisions were taken to fulfil the aspirations of people within 10 weeks of returning to power. Prime Minister announces Jal Jeevan Mission to ensure safe drinking water to all households, asks farmers to reduce use of fertilizers and move towards organic farming. Prime Minister announces creation of a new post of Chief of Defence Staff, government to invest 100 lakh crore rupees in infrastructure building. Prime Minister calls upon people to make country free from single-use plastic from 2nd October. Independence Day celebrations held all over the country and abroad. And Raksha Bandhan been celebrated across the country with traditional fervour. And with that we end the Midday News.